Hello, dear Divine. How are you? I feel waves of energy. Again, as I've said in a past video, feel dense and need to be digested and processed. And that is adding to the need that I have been experiencing myself to have, almost resentfully, to regulate. I've been finding in the past few days, past week, that I need a lot of time and space to slow down and take care of mind, heart, spirit, in order to feel like I am grounded and spacious and connected. Otherwise, it really does feel dense and heavy. And so I share that to maybe affirm that if you are feeling similar, you're not alone. It is what I feel, and it might be what is felt amongst many through the developments in this reality that we are experiencing at the moment in time and space we currently exist. And so I thank you for taking time out for yourself to ground and connect in the ways that resonate for you, and hopefully that is me. And that we align with one another in the journeys we travel and the perspectives we have in approaching our lived reality, living on this earth, here now, here again. And so I come today with a message from our dear Divine for us to consider, reflect, digest, hopefully with greater ease and clarity than the energies that I feel. Today, we are talking about myths. And today's focus will be on a specific one, but also we'll be talking loosely about myths. Myths, storytelling, inheritance, ancestry, creation, lore. We must retell our stories like life they yearn to come back to us again and again, renewing us with the simple, liberating truth of ourselves. Visionary fragments of humanity that fascinate us with their narratives drawn from our dreams. Subtly, our myths work upon us, surprising and transforming us anew with every retelling. Myth is the ancient circular revolution our spirit makes through our hearts that confirms our path and leads us over the threshold to our future. So a myth, we have 2 cards today, but we'll start with myth. A myth is a story we tell. It's funny because so far up until I just wrote that, the lens through which I was viewing the word myth is the lens I believe maybe we as society, maybe specifically American society, have about myths being false. And the heavy emphasis and the heaviness around falsehood these days. False news, false communication, false lies, falsehoods in media, in politics. Myth is such a big and heavy word I've been feeling, and yet just now what I recognized with that was that through reading this guidebook, myths were once beautifully magic, transcendent, spiritual, cosmic stories, make believe, but believable, magical, possible, the potential of things, the magic, the wonder, the awe in things. Myths empowered, inspired, brought hope. At least the myths that we think of when we think of bedtime stories, right? We think of maybe Hercules, his power, his overcoming. Myths are the stories we tell, whether we focus on what is heavy or what brings us ease. And no matter the kind of story we tell, the story works, the story applies, the story afflicts us and align us. If we believe ourselves as imperfect, if we believe as perfection as a standard that we should strive for, that is a story that then works upon us, upon our reality, that afflicts us in our story, in our struggle, living this life of this self that we are. And at the same time, while that story does afflict us, striving for perfection afflicts us, one story, it also puts us on a path through which that we can be aligned with the truth, beyond the myths, beyond the stories that we tell. Beyond and through the stories we tell, because the stories we tell, again, apply. Whether they're stories that limit us or stories that expand us, they will apply to us. They will challenge us if they limit us, or they will inspire us to expand and recognize that the truth is, the myths are true. We can be all that is wondrous and magical and possible in this world, or we can be striving for perfection, striving for success, and never really getting it, depending on the stories we tell. So that is the broad scope as now we dive into this card, imperfection. Imperfection is something that is manufactured. It is a once and once only defining element or moment that is neither repeated or repeatable, and one that affects the whole of our being with far-reaching consequences. This quality of imperfection is what makes it such a magnetic force. It is the stop. A break in the line or a hole in the form that rests your attention fully upon it. It is the almost forgotten side path that is filled with an exceptional yet peculiar beauty and has a history completely its own. This peculiar beauty and history is utterly moving and capable of expanding us in a way that normality and perfection could never do. Our imperfections move us and can expand us in a way that normality and perfection can never do, as long as we appreciate and grant it integrity. This invisible force will lead us to the horizon of who we are to become. Imperfection, wound, uncommon, unique, loss, enigmatic. Imperfection. Imperfection is the stop. Imperfection literally stops us, becomes the honing in point of all that we are in one facet, one aspect of that we are. It stops us from recognizing that we are more than just that aspect that is not quite yet. And it stops us from then becoming that which we are not quite yet, that we know that we can be but are not quite yet. To be imperfect versus to be perfect are neither one are destinations to be strived for. We are in an endless fluctuating exchange of imperfection and perfection dancing. When we stop and focus on what is imperfect, distancing ourselves from the idea of being perfect, that is the story we tell. That is the story that afflicts us. And that is the story that then stumbles us in just embodying the natural essence, the natural expression of who we uniquely are, that contains that which one can judge as imperfect, but is just you. It's just naturally you. Because we need to expand. Instead of stopping with the imperfection, we need to instead expand with integrity around it, recognizing that it is a now facet of us, and we are more than it, beyond time and space at the same time. To be able to expand around being imperfect is to accept, love, feed, propel our ever-evolving selves, the selves that we are, that are naturally always in development, literally, and in growth and understanding, in knowledge, in learning knowledge and applying wisdom. We are always evolving. We are always imperfect. We are never in a fixed, perfect state. We are always at a state of having been, become, overcome, and in a state of growing, learning, overcoming. So the message today with both of these cards is for you and I to take it easy. Take it easy, dear divine selves that we are. We can take it easy in this reality. There is truly no need to rush, no need to box us into confined stories of who and how we should live. Truly, we can enjoy this reality. Truly, that is the intent of our experience, is to fully experience, to enjoy, to slow down, to struggle, to recover, to move forward, to strive, to repeat, to feel pain. All of it is part of the imperfect lived experience. But the imperfectness is exactly what makes it perfect. Perfect for our growth and development as souls through the school that is life, human life on earth. Connecting to my last video, our destiny is the imperfection of the human experience. Our destiny is having free will, is moving through the veil, forgetting that we have a soul, is feeling limited, being actually limited by time, by space, by the vessel that we inhabit, by the resources that we have. Our destiny is experiencing the pleasure and pain of human existence. And so what is natural is our destiny. What feels and oozes ease, flow, growth, abundance, nourishment, all the things that Mother Nature, Mother Earth, Mother Gaia represent. That is our destiny. And if we do not feel that, if we are not experiencing that, we are not truly living the fullness of our destiny here on earth. We have not navigated the balance that is the depths of our pain and the fullest of our joys. We have not embraced the fullness of ourselves and the fullness of this world, the fullness of our divinity and the fullness of this reality, all at once. All are one. All is divine. We are divine. And that can be the story we tell ourselves. That unlike the story of being striving for and against perfection and imperfection, the story that we are divine, the story that we are souls expands, inspires. So why not believe that which expands, inspires you? Whether it is that, whether it is another perspective, another faith, let us all expand, inspire, live more deeply, more vividly, in ever exploring and uncovering the divine in this reality. The stories we tell ourselves can truly limit the extent through which our souls can unfold, express its fullness, its vastness, its power, creativity in this reality. Our souls transcend time and space, and so can the legacy we live and leave through the life we have, through the selves we are. That is how the people, the icons, the pioneers we know are those that we know. They've allowed a soulful mark to be left. They've allowed their soul to unfold. They've allowed their human selves to align rather than to resist the divine that is that they are. The stories we tell ourselves define our destiny on earth. Let's tell the most expansive, most magical, most inspiring one for the life that we choose to live, and hopefully in the lives, the legacy we leave an impact. Until next time, dear divine, farewell. Thank you for flowing to me, with me, until next we meet.